Hey, B. Listen, we back. Okay, we're back to chit chat about a few things. Can I let y'all know that I did get a chance to check out all 3 hours of the Monique's interview that she did with Club Shay Shay? And honestly, y'all, it wasn't a struggle to get through, but I did kind of feel a little bit like we heard this all before just a bit. I remember talking to my fiance last night. I was just like, listen, I don't know what the hell to get from this interview. Like, what the fuck? He was, are you listening to it? I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to quite a few hours of it. He was like, and I'm like, what that mean? I'm like, you must got a whole lot out of it. He was like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's the tone of voice that she may use or something. I don't know what it was, but I listened to all of it. And I mean, maybe it was just the mood that I was in or something. But either way, shout out to the people that clipped the important parts out of the damn interview because that's really all that we're going to chat about and discuss. And maybe it'll trigger something as we're going through it. Maybe it'll trigger something else that I heard her say that we could discuss and elaborate on. But I know some people wanted me to talk about it, and I was over there. Somebody added me on Twitter like, "Yeah, I'm just waiting on Jami to talk about it," and I'm over here looking at her like, "Girl, you sure, bitch?" Because I mean, she really saying a whole lot of what we already damn heard. I mean, she did touch on Taraji. She definitely got Tiffany Haddish ass together. She overly praised her man when her man works for her. Like that's what be confusing for me. And ain't nothing wrong with it, I guess, but it's like you be acting like your man is so much of the king this, king that, or whatever. And it's like he works for you though. Like, does he have another job? Like, what is going on? I don't know. Anyway, she gave a background on their relationship and how they came together and how they was brother and sister at one point, and then it just clicked and they just start moving in the direction of a relationship. He had to teach her and grow her up, and I hate hearing that, and I know what she means. I just feel like it's a better way of saying that because it's like it's weird to me to refer to a man that's your man, your sex mate, whatever. You're referring to this person as your daddy. That's what kills me, that you refer to him as daddy, but then you also reference him as the person that grows you up. And it's just like, you don't find that a bit weird? Even though I know what you're saying, I just feel like she could say it like a bit better and just let us know that, she didn't know a lot of things. I didn't experience a lot of stuff until I got with him. And then I had to learn a lot about myself. Now he grew me up and all this other bullshit. Just say I had to learn a lot about myself. It's just real weird with her wording of things. That's what it be. It be how she words things. And it kind of loses me. That's what it's the soft tone that she talks in sometimes, and the wording, the way she goes about explaining stuff, sometimes it kind of loses me. Just a little bit. All right, but shout out to the Art of Dialogue over here on Twitter because that's where we're gonna watch these clips at, or at least listen to them. Okay, because you how YouTube do, girl. So if you can't see the clips, you probably just gonna be listening to them high key. So yeah, so we're gonna go over here and we're gonna check out a few of the clips. I know she called out, like I said, Oprah. She was on Tyler Perry's head, baby. People was talking about her recording Tyler Perry, and it's like I want y'all to stop the whole thing about, to me, okay. I people find it as an issue to record other people, and I don't know if that's really a bad thing if it's legal in your state to do so. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think it's that bad. So like, people kind of they drug Lotto for recording Nikki. Sometimes you gotta record motherfuckers because like Monique said, they'll show one thing when they said something completely different. That's a part of having your receipts. I didn't understand why people were upset. And if you are one of them people, girl, as we bring Nikki into the conversation, though she ain't got nothing to do with this girl. If you are one of those people that were over there praising Miss Monique for recording Tyler, but having an issue with Lotto recording Nikki, go in the mirror and check yourself, girl. But anyway, Hanny. So yeah, she recorded Tyler, and Shannon Sharp heard what Tyler told her, but it was weird because y'all, Shannon Sharp is working on himself. This isn't what he does. He's not in journalism, none of that. It's a lot of people that just do these pop-up podcasts and they just want to share their opinions and stuff. So they want to interview people. And I think that they will learn along the way, even though this may not be their field. And he's trying, because I felt like he asked more questions of Monique this time around than he did with Cat Williams. And I don't really be tripping too much off of him. when it comes to him like asking questions and stuff, because sometimes you'll get people on interviews and the interviewers will rarely let the people talk. And then when they interview people, a lot of times they're talking more about themselves than allowing the person they're interviewing talk about them, or they're jumping in, cutting them off and stuff. So, I mean, he's working on it. He's getting better. And I appreciate it. The only thing is his reactions at times. It's like, are you actually listening to what they said? And maybe he doesn't know how to actually respond to what they're saying, so he may give these what, wow, all these extra, reactions or whatever, but maybe he don't really know how to respond. He's just allowing them to get a lot out of off their chest and express themselves. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he don't really know exactly how to respond, but I feel like, Shannon is working on himself over here. Who else did she call out? Yeah, she came for Tiffany Haddish. She touched on D.L. Hughley, so much so that D.L. Hughley had to come and do his own damn video and call that lady a liar, child. Yeah, she talked about the Taraji P. Henson situation. So yeah, we're gonna get into a few of those things. I'm trying to recall something that she said about Taraji that I was talking to my boo about last night. And I was telling him I ain't really getting nothing from it. And then I started to run through the things that I heard. And I said, you know what? I guess I got quite a few things from it. Maybe I can, talk about this, because she mentioned some stuff about Taraji. And I had a lot of things to say about that. One thing that she said, as it's clicking to me before we get into this, she talked about auditioning and how she said she's not auditioning for nothing. She's like, how can you be handpicked and then allow yourself to audition as well? She's like, the fact that you were even handpicked, all of the discrepancies and things you experienced on set should have never happened, because they handpicked you. You know what I'm saying? So they should have had everything together. She's like, when you audition, I guess when you audition, you put yourself on a lower totem pole or whatever. Excuse me. And it allows the studio network or whoever to really play with you. Because I guess they view you as all the other people that have interviewed. Okay. And they probably see you as a person that's desperate. Like the way she said that, I'm going to give it to her. I was like, bitch, I'm with you on that. At some point when you're winning these awards, you're getting these accolades, you're getting noticed, bitch, it ain't no auditions. I'm only taking offers. And that's just really what it is. So what we doing? If you think I'm coming into your room to have a sit down, I'm not. The fact that y'all reached out to me for an audition or handpicked or whatever, the fact that you went over to me for an audition, then you either see me in the role or you don't see me in the role. But if you think that I'm going to audition for the role, you have me fucked up. Like, I liked her thoughts on that shit. Okay. And I also feel like it sets up the playing field as far as how they play with you. Okay. It's like, you can't even play with me to come at me to audition for a fucking ass thing. After after my accolades, you have no choice but to approach me on some, hey, this is what we got for you. Are you open to it? Read the script, let us know. And then if so, then we could get the contract. We could really get negotiations into play. So I was like, okay, Monique, I'm with that. I do feel like if Taraji would have not auditioned, which I'm not sure if she did or didn't. It sound like Monique said that she did audition, but just to be handpicked and they want you to be a part of this, like, at the end of the day, don't play with her. That's Taraji. Like, don't fucking play with her. And I think she allowed herself to be played with too long in the industry, because she said that her salary or her amount of money that she was making didn't go up for 5 years. Right? It was just at a standstill. But can I also say this too? When it comes to calling out people in Hollywood, as a working actor, I do believe that it's difficult to do that, because you don't want to be blackballed, unlike Monique, who did not give a fuck what y'all was talking about. Y'all could blackball me, y'all could do this, y'all could do whatever the fuck y'all want to do. Okay, but it ain't stopping nothing over here, because I'm gonna get all of what's owed to me. And although I extremely respect that, I do not believe that everyone can do that. I mean, and you just gotta like really identify the right time to say something. Like, when you do open your mouth, I do feel like you got to be at a place where you ain't got nothing to lose, or if you lose a whole lot, you okay with it, you still in a good space or whatever. It does not do anybody any justice to keep it in and not talk about it, because you're only allowing them to continue to you're only allowing them to finesse more and more artists that are coming up. You know what I'm saying? So another thing Monique said that I love, she was like, who is eating? She's like, who's eating off of this? Like she was talking about the Parkers and how they made all this money and stuff. And she's like, whose children is eating off this? Because I know my motherfucking kids ain't. Y'all want to sit up here and take in and hoard all of this fucking money off other people's talents and stuff. This is me speaking. Y'all want to sit up here and hoard people's money off of their talents in the entertainment business, whether you're an artist and you sing, whether you work in the music industry, acting or whatever. Y'all want to hoard all these fucking people's money and finesse them. You want to make sure that your legacy continues to go on and that your family eats and your grandchildren and great grandkids eat. But you want to sit up here and play on the top of the people that actually had to slave away their talents, learning lines, getting up, performing, overperforming, whatever the case is, whether they sick or not, cramping, whatever it is, to deliver a good ass show with their talents for y'all motherfuckers. So you got the audacity to undercut them on their coins. And then when you got the residuals, when it's time for the show to continue to be shifted through these different networks and make money, you don't want to pay your fucking actors, but you want to get paid off their backs. If that ain't some slave ass shit, I don't know what the hell is. It's literally like having these slaves in the motherfucking fields and y'all sitting over here profiting off of the work that they do. And I think that shit is whack as hell. And I'm glad that y'all getting exposed, and I'm glad that y'all getting called the fuck out. Because when that bitch said, who is eating? Not my kids. I said, let's go then. I'm with you on that, girl. Another thing I just wanted to highlight, the reason I was even bringing up that part of the conversation was because with Monique, I feel like it's much easier for her to step out there and go against everybody in a sense, to me, when it comes to the entertainment industry. And I say that because as far as her acting, I say that because everybody doesn't have what Monique has, meaning Monique is a comedian first. Monique is a comedian first. So if this shit does not pan out to where she's on people's television screens to be acting or whatever the case is, in my personal, okay, and I know y'all gonna correct me in the comments anyway, because that's just how y'all is saying it, but I feel like if she booked no opportunities to be on set for 2 years or so, it doesn't matter, because she's able to go directly to her audience. Meaning the millions of people that fuck with Monique, I don't care if it's not even a million, you could have 500,000, 500,000, 300,000 or whatever people that really fuck with Monique. If she decided that she wanted to go on tour to different comedy clubs and do her comedy special, she gonna still eat, because there are still people, despite what's going on in Hollywood, that's going to support her directly. They're gonna book those shows. Everybody doesn't have that. Taraji doesn't have, she's not a comedian to be able to go on different tours and give her talent out in that manner. Now, she could probably try and book some brand deals. She could try to book some brand deals. I know she got her hair care line and stuff, but who's to say those brand deals and stuff aren't influenced by the industry to where it's like, she difficult to work with. Y'all may not want her over there on y'all, representing y'all products. And if you get too much of a buzz and a bad name about you, they probably not gonna want to brand up with you anyway, partner up with you anyway. So, but I feel like with Monique, it is a slightly a bit different in my personal, because Monique can book a month worth of comedy shows in a local area or whatever, and Miss Ma'am may make enough money for half a year and she could chill out, pay the venue, whatever, you're gonna let them get a piece off the door, upsell the price, whatever, people that shoot, they're gonna pay the money, get all your money, then you do a few shows throughout that whole month, and then you probably set for the next, it's probably 6 months, ain't no fucking telling, right? So those are my my thoughts about that particular situation with Monique. But shout out to people like 50 Cent. Shout out to 50 for wanting to continue to give her some work when it seemed like she could have been blackballed from the industry. I think they need more people like that. 50 Cent may get on our nerves. He may not give a damn with how he go about things at times. But I guess when you got a piece of power, honey, you could do that. So I believe that if it was a network working with 50 Cent and they didn't want Monique, I think he would push back and make them want Monique. Like, well, then you ain't doing my show. Like, we not moving forward if you're not gonna book her and put some money in her pocket or whatever and pay her what she's worth or whoop. So shout out to him for that, and shout out to Lee Daniels for apologizing. And the same way he came for her in public or whatever happened in public, he came back to the front, apologized to her, and they're on better terms. And I think they went on to do another movie, and she credited T.S. Madison for that, because once she told T.S. Madison how things played out between them, gave a T.S. additional details. T.S., who is good friends with Lee Daniels for sure, had a conversation with Lee, and then therefore Lee, made sure that that he apologized to Miss Monique or whatnot. So as much as I'm over here like, what am I supposed to get from this, girl? I think that I actually ended up getting a lot. Okay. And shout out to the people that, like I said, had the clips so that we could check those out. And I don't have to, go back and re-listen to the interview. Okay. Because I think what had me more engaged with, what's his name? I think what had me more engaged with, Cat Williams was the messiness of it all. Okay. Let me pull up something else, because when it's time to talk about D.L. Hughley, I want to make sure that I have that over here for us to talk about. As I'm pulling that up, if you guys have not liked the video already, definitely go ahead and support the channel by liking the video, and also share your thoughts down below in the comment section of what you took from the interview, what you thought of the interview, what you think of Monique and her being so open and honest about everything that she's experienced, in the in the world, in the industry for the most part. And I don't really fault her for keeping it a book, because she had told Shannon, like, don't ever come to me and tell me something. Or like if somebody came to me and said, no, she said two things. At the top of the interview, she's like, don't ever come to her and tell her a secret or whatever, and tell her that you're like, talk to her about somebody or something that and you're withholding it and you're not going to speak on it, because she's going to end up letting it out. So she's going to pretty much hold you accountable as her friend to either say it yourself, or she's going to have to say it for you, because she just can't hold it in. And then she also used the example of like, don't ever be a friend of mine if somebody comes to me and tell me that you've wronged them, because I'm going to be on your head to make sure that you address that situation, or I'm going to have to call you out type thing or whatever. So she be saying she's standing on her honesty and truth, but I also feel like she be shading the hell out of folks. And I also feel like she don't give all of the details. I don't think she give all of the details. And then she likes to wrap it up with some I love us for real. So anywho, let's just get into let's see, is this the we start right here. Okay, and right here it says that Monique calls out Oprah and suggests that her being blackballed was punishment to deter Black women from speaking out against pay inequality in Hollywood. So let's go ahead and listen to that.
Do you believe punishment? Punishment is not only meant for the perpetrator, but it's also to deter others from said acts.
You see it.
Do you believe the punishment that was bestowed upon Monique was not only to punish you,
saw it,
but to deter others from saying what you said?
Well, Shannon, see here, and I'm going to answer that. But sometimes we act like we don't know our history. See, back in the day when they had us in chains, they would beat one real good.
Right. But in front of the others.
In front of the others, and they let everybody know what you don't want is that type of ass whooping.
Right.
So what they said was, we're going to beat Monique really good. We're going to sit her down. And I made it public. Financially, my family took a hit, Shannon. And when I tell you we took a hit,
right,
we took a hit. So when you see our sister go through that, you see her go through, and we act like our eyes didn't see what it saw when we watched that promotion happen with The Color Purple.
Right.
We wanted to act like we didn't see how Oprah Winfrey treated Taraji. In my humble opinion, when you saw her walk up, you saw that there was tension. You saw that there was something happening.
Right.
And then when you see Taraji write her a love letter, it's like, listen, we got to stand tall and stand strong on what we know. We know you were mistreated. We know it wasn't right. We know it was unfair. And then you turn around and say, oh, but Lady O handled it. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that, because that allows Lady O to keep on doing what she's doing, and we're in a position of...
Okay, let me go back, because number one, when they were going on, I think they were on the Empire State Building, and they were walking up there. It was freezing cold. It was very awkward. Oprah tried to say they were cold. or whatever the case was. She had some excuses as to the body language people were calling out. All right. I'm like, girl, if it's cold, you would think that y'all would jumble up together. But it definitely looked like Taraji and Oprah weren't feeling each other. It looked like, to me, Oprah may have said something to Taraji and Taraji was feeling misunderstood or something like that. Like, it was just something about the vibes that was definitely off. I didn't even know that she wrote Oprah a love letter, according to Monique. I'm just like, what, girl? She wrote her a love letter? Girl, look, now I want to look this up. Let me see. Taraji wrote Oprah love letter. Because I'm like, I mean, unless she was just using that as an example. Where Oprah's love letter to her. Maybe that was on the interview that they did, because I'm like, well, she wrote her a love letter. And then she also goes on to say that, Taraji saying, but a lady O was on it. She got it together. She took care of us. She did this. She did that. Monique says she got a problem with that. Okay, I understand where Monique is coming from when she's like, when you do that, when you call out situations and then you pretty much pacify a person, you are excusing them from accountability. But also it's making me think, but what if Lady O actually was on it though? I do understand where you're like, oh, the things that Taraji called out, they should have been handled on the front end versus the back end. But I refuse to believe that things just don't happen on set. I think some things definitely happen on set. Now, granted, because it wasn't just Oprah. Oprah was a part of it, but you also got to look at the studios as well, because they had a hand in those people not having the things that they need. But of course, Oprah's name is the bigger name, so it falls on Oprah. Like, Oprah was completely in the wrong about everything. But even if she is, she's not in it by herself. So we also have to call out the other powers at hand, because they need to be held accountable too, not just her. But what if she was on it? Maybe it was things that Oprah was not privy to, and then Oprah was the go-to person that they were able to actually talk to, that actually could go and talk to whoever else and get the shit done that they needed. Right? So for me, it's like, I hear what you're saying, Monique, and I think that you have a point. But what if Lady O was the person that looked out for them while they were on set, and you're just allowing your I don't know what to call it, like, you not really feeling her in this moment, being a reason as to why you didn't like the way that Taraji didn't go all in or balls in the way that you did. So I don't know. Let's keep going.
I don't want to say nothing because we saw how Monique got whooped. Now, again, that's just my humble opinion. But
I don't think that's what it was with Taraji, saying that she tried to clean it up because she saw how you got whooped. Because here's the thing. How you got whooped. For me, all right, here's the thing. Yes, she called out the things that happened on set, and then she also cleared that matter up, right? When it came to whatever happened on set, she, because Oprah did, give them the things that they needed, and it wasn't just Taraji saying that. Fantasia and the other, I believe her name is Danielle Brooks, also said the same thing. So it wasn't just her. But then when you're talking about how you got whooped, I feel like she's not excused from still getting treated how you got treated, because she's been very vocal about people not properly paying her the things that she is worth. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, she still could get a piece of blackball, but I feel like if that's the case, y'all would have the blackball Viola Davis, who's been very vocal about it, and other actresses and stuff that's been very vocal about it. Her calling out the situation with Oprah, but then also saying Oprah cleared it up. Even if she wouldn't have said that, the other ladies would have, because that's what their experience were. So I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about that. I see where Monique is coming, but then I do kind of slightly disagree just a little bit.
But I don't know I don't know how else to frame that. Mm-hmm. It's like, listen, you better fix that, because you saw what they did to her. You saw how they treated her.
Is it a situation,
but you believe she cleared it up in the moment? It wasn't like cleared it up. It wasn't like she said that, left, and then her get it together, and then now coming back to the front to clear it up. She kind of like said what she said. They didn't have this, they didn't have that. And then she also cleared it up in the moment and said, but I got on the phone with Oprah, and Oprah took care of those things.
Situation that Oprah might have faced something similar that maybe wasn't as public as you. And she's looking at it, well, if I faced that, went through it, and came out on the other side and look at me, it should be okay. Because sometimes we get that with parents. You know, I struggle. You say my kids should have to struggle sometimes also. Do you think that might be something going on with her? Or you just like, there's a disconnect?
That's what I didn't like that he did when I watched the interview. He gave her an out. Do not give her an out. Allow her to explain, because maybe her answer would have been different. Instead of you ask the question, just ask it. Don't ask her if that's a disconnect. You know, and there's nothing wrong with really asking that, for real, for real. I just kind of didn't want, I was hoping he didn't give her an out because I knew she was going to choose the latter. Allow her to explain her reasoning for the first one, you know, versus just saying there's a disconnect there. There's a disconnect, you know. Maybe she would have got to that conclusion on her own.
Disconnect.
Okay.
There's a disconnect, and there's been a disconnect for years. There's a disconnect. And I think what happens is we place people on these pedestals and we say, oh, no, you can't do no wrong. We don't even want to hear it.
Right.
And when you hear cats say, you know what they do? They don't say anything and they act like it didn't happen. I'm going to keep talking until you take accountability.
Right.
Until you say, Uncle, I've done this. That's why it was so important. From Oprah Winfrey to Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels. Now, Lee Daniels was the only one I had to deal with. Did you see Lee Daniels apologize? He walked out on that stage. Not only did he apologize on stage, that man apologized to our children. That man apologized to our children and said, I need to apologize for what I put y'all through. He's the only one I had to deal with. However, it became a problem with Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, that I wouldn't do something and work for free. Now, when you say, well, maybe Oprah feels like she came through it, why can't you?
Right.
Well, there's a story with Oprah Winfrey when she was on the show, People Are Talking. Richard Sher was making $55,000. She was making $22,000. These are her words. It was her co-host. She said, I had to leave because they wasn't paying me fairly. Now you say a black woman who did nothing wrong, and you're in the midst of this situation because she called me, Tyler Perry called me, Lionsgate called. When you were on the phone with my husband, you said, I agree with Monique. I agree with the position she's taking. But when it came time to say it out loud, Oprah Winfrey went totally silent.
I do feel like that's messed up. That is messed up, especially for you to be a person to have experienced something similar to what this woman has experienced, and you see that y'all are trying to, or the people are trying to get her to do more than what she was actually paid to do, and you actually got yourself up off a table because they wasn't paying you enough. I do think that's messed up. And she also goes on, Monique also goes on to talk about how she exposed a lot of her family history, relationships and stuff to Oprah. And for Oprah to turn around and have her brother on the show, it's like, Oprah, you don't be reading the room, huh? Girl, you don't be reading the room. Like and honestly, Monique is right to take the latter because it is a disconnect. It is a fucking disconnect that you've had the same experience in your life, and then you want to sit up here and not have her back when it's her turn. Or at least you want to have her back in her face, but you don't want to have her back out loud. That don't make no damn sense. Right? And then Monique told a story about how she did this interview on a podcast with Oprah's makeup artist, and how that makeup artist, the issue came up with Monique, and Monique needing to get paid more money if they want her to do X, Y, and Z, ABC. And so when she talked to when the makeup artist got off the phone with Monique, when Oprah got off the phone with Monique, I do believe the makeup artist was there and told her that, why don't you just pay Monique the money to do whatever it is that y'all trying to get her to do? And then Oprah said, I'm not paying her anything or something like that. And then the makeup artist was like, you wrong as hell for that. Like, you wrong for that. Like, you know that's wrong. Like, you should pay her or whatever. She said, I'm not paying her shit. But you on the phone in her face telling her that you completely agree with her. But not only are you not willing to pay, to get her to do the extra work they're trying to get her to do, but you're also not advocating for her either. So I do think that's messed up. And I think Monique has a point about people putting others on pedestals, and once we put them up that high, we don't want to believe ever that they would do something out of the norm of what we believe. okay, they would do it. And that's not the case, because honestly, I have to remind myself sometimes we don't know these motherfucking people. We do not know these people, right? So we don't know what they are and are not capable of, because at the end of every day, they are still human. Right? They want to use, people like to use that as a sympathy card, like, oh, they're human, we should feel sorry for them, like they're human, give them grace. And it's like, yes, baby, you're right, they are human, and because they are human, they have the capability of being a fucked up ass person too. So we don't know these people. Okay, so there's that. But let's go ahead and see if there was more, because there is on the page. And I wonder if she's gonna talk about the Tyler Perry thing. Yeah, she about to get into more Taraji. Let me see. Okay, so I do. Yeah, she's gonna talk about the Tyler Perry, because I do remember listening to her go into detail about a link up that she had with Tyler Perry, and how they, once he wanted her to like promote the stuff, and she said no, and all of this, he tried to kind of give her reasons as to why he thinks she should, and she's like, baby, the only reason you could give me is giving me the coin to do so, and that's just on period. And basically, once the conversation was over, she thought they understood. They understood where they were, stood on business. She gave him a hug. He hugged her, and they were all good. And then next thing you know, it's a whole different conversation about her being difficult. Girl, that's some shady shit, bitch. That is some shady shit, bitch. For real. And I have to say this before I go any further, okay? This might be a long video, girl, forgive me. But when I hear this conversation about Tyler Perry, and although I love his story, how he came up and everything, and him being extremely successful, and that is awesome. But it does make me think about an interview that KJ Smith did. Y'all know KJ Smith plays Andy on Sisters, right? And they went around, they did interviews, and I'm like, when the hell has Sisters ever done interviews? They did interviews on what's that man name? Sway in the Morning or whatever. And they was raving about Tyler Perry and being on set and all this and that. And I thought that was really interesting. And I was like, is he sending sisters out here to do interviews for their show that's been on for a very long time, and I've never seen them do interviews, especially as a collective? Is he doing that to hide away from the noise of what Christian Keys was putting out, and people started to assume that it was about him? Did he do that to, for a distraction or anything, is what I was wondering. But more than anything, this is where the conversation went. This is where I'm at in my head when I hear about Monique hugging on Tyler. Everything is all good, but on the flip side, something else is happening. So KJ Smith did an interview, a red carpet interview with her fiance at the time, who's now her husband. And I remember on that interview, he talked about how she was being mistreated on set, and how she constantly shows up and does this and does that and da-da-da and yada, yada, yada. So I'm just like, how are things going on set for you? Right? Because you was just, you didn't tell your man to be quiet, because he was being very vocal about what all was transpiring on set. But then at the same time, you're having to smile and act like everything is good, and next thing you know, you're doing these interviews praising, the entire team and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so maybe they done fired the people. Okay. Was Tyler allowing this disrespect under his watch or something like that? Maybe the people that she was working with may have been released or something, or maybe things have gotten better. Maybe they've had a conversation. But that just made me think of that when I was hearing her talk about the private conversation she had with Tyler, but then something else was going on. And I'm like, okay, made me think of KJ now. They over here, he talking down on whatever's been happening on set, and then next thing you know, everything is all good in the land. I'm like, okay, girl, what the hell going on over there at TPS? But anywho, let's get into this next part where they say we accept seeing a black woman broken, according to Monique, as she speaks on Taraji P. Henson crying. So it seems like she's about to compare the fact that when she said the same thing, people wasn't supportive of her. Right? And she had her man sitting beside her. But now that y'all see Taraji crying, y'all want to believe and go up and support her. But I remember us talking about this previously. And my thing is, it's about who they like. And I think more people like Taraji more than they like Monique. I don't know. Maybe it is because she labels herself a big fat black woman or whatever. Maybe that's why they don't like her. I don't know. But I think it has more to do with, whether people like you. And they got to like you to defend you.
When I listen to your story, you say dirt poor.
Yes.
Bathroom outside.
Yes.
It was, we had to make it work however we can make it work.
Correct.
And then you get that first big check.
Yes.
And you think the people that gave it to you was awesome because they gave it to you. And it's more money than you've ever seen before, until you find out this ain't the right money. This ain't the right amount. Wait a minute. if they got this, why am I getting this? Then you start putting the pieces together and you start saying, it's not right and I'm going to speak about it. See, when I saw Taraji broken on those platforms, it was painful to watch. However, Taraji and I had a conversation over a decade ago.
Yes.
In my trailer when I was doing the Monique show. And she said, you got to keep on getting it until your turn comes. And I said, Taraji, most of us die before our turn comes.
That is a fact.
We got to ask for it right now. Now, I understand that because there was a time I felt the same way.
Exactly.
Because that's what I was told.
Right.
You just keep going and we'll get them the next time. We'll get them the next time. We'll get them the next time. And the next time never comes.
That is
and then
so
you
true.
see our sister broken, sitting on those platforms. Now, when I said it,
why didn't it get the traction when you said it that when she
weren't
said it,
featuring
now
her like
all of a
they were
sudden
featuring
everybody
this
is
other
coming.
one.
And I don't have a problem. I'm glad.
Yes.
But if you said this a decade ago, and I remember you saying it over a decade ago, why didn't it get the traction? Why didn't it get the support? Why wasn't it propped up when Monique said it?
Right.
I think there's a few reasons why. Number one, it was the messenger. I should just be grateful I got invited to the party. You a big, fat, black woman. How dare you be the one? And then on top of that, you're saying names. You're saying Oprah's name out loud. You're saying Tyler's name out loud. You're saying Lee's name out loud. You're saying Lionsgate out loud. That's not what we do. We say they.
Right.
We say the people.
She
we say
is
the
not
studio.
lying.
We say the producers.
She is not
How
lying.
dare you actually say our heroes' names?
You're very specific.
These are our heroes. How could you say their names out loud? Because they're the ones that did it. And if I don't say it out loud, now you see a woman that is swallowing that pain, that is so stressed out. Then you see our sister Taraji P. Henson sit on that platform. And I love that baby because she's a beautiful spirit. But to see her that broken, what our community was saying was, we have a hard time, some of us, we have a hard time seeing a strong black woman with her back straight and a chin up and a strong black man standing by her side. We have a hard time accepting that. But we can accept seeing a black woman broken. Now it's really serious because she's falling apart. Our community
That part I
had a
don't know
hard
about.
time with those two things.
I don't know about that one,
And
girl.
when I would hear people say, why is her husband there? Why is he there? It's a sad day when we're questioning why a black man would stand with his black.
And girl, it really wasn't even about him standing. It was more so about people not understanding his fucking role. Like, why you got your damn husband right there? It made sense to me as I began to continue watching her interview. That's her manager. So if I put aside the fact that that's just her husband and actually look at her manager, the manager is the person that's also assisting with negotiating. The manager is also, they're just a part of every deal. And a lot of times, aside from spouses, managers see everything that you go through and that you experience in this industry. So if I look at it in that terms and not so much as powerful black husband standing beside me, I'm more so looking at it as a manager. Your manager should be standing beside you. They've been standing beside you when you was securing the deals, when you was over here locking in the deals, getting this big money that's putting money in their pockets. Now that you out here being vocal and you speaking, don't shy away now. Because whatever I get finna benefit you too. So don't shy away now. You should be standing with me as my manager. In my opinion, that's just how I'm seeing it.
Black woman. So when you hear black women saying we're the most undervalued, disrespected, underserved, mistreated, violated, exploited, we get all of that. Then you see a black man standing with his black woman saying, not on my watch. And you hear some black men saying, why her husband gotta be there? We're in a sad state of affairs when we begin to question black love and black unity. So they didn't want to hear me, some of them, because of what I look like, because I spoke about their heroes, and because they saw that man standing right there strong.
Now, I'm with you on the first two, sis. Now, I don't know about that last one, as I told you, girl, but I am here for you on the first two. Okay, definitely because of what you look like, and definitely the fact that you name names, because it was definitely given, I'm sure, to a lot of people. Oh, she has the audacity. Nobody has ever taken it that far to where they're gonna call out people. And then on top of that, this is your third one. Not so much as the husband situation, but the third one is, and then she called out the black folks too. It's the black ones she called out. She big, fat, black, ugly, whatever y'all want to call her, but dear God, she here. She done called out y'all faves, and then on top of that, calling out the faves is all black folks. And then, of course, people gonna use that against you. We always coming up against each other, and this, that, and the other. She ain't even have to call those people out like that and say this and that and that, because it's going against the idea of what you have in your mind about these people. She ain't lying. That lady is not lying. I hate to say, girl, she is not lying. And because you feel like, oh, black people always go against each other and we this and that, and we'll never get ahead, then that's a great that's a great start to have when it's starting the conversation. But you need to look at it from the angle of those folks, not so much as the angle of her calling their ass out. And I don't blame her, because it's like, bitch, I'm gonna risk y'all before I risk myself. So I'm not just gonna be standing out here on this ledge talking about they did me wrong, this and that. Hey, Christian Keys, how are you, baby? Out here, because y'all would have did definitely the same thing if she wouldn't have put no name on it. Coming out here to the front, telling people what you've experienced in the industry, and instead of you putting a name out there to prevent that person from doing it to others, you just sit up there and you just dangle some shit in front of the people. Like, I'm gonna give y'all a little of this, and we'll see which one of y'all gonna be able to catch it. Too slow. No, it should have been quicker than that, bitch. No. So if you're gonna risk it, baby, risk it all. Might as well. Okay. But let's keep going. What else do they have over here? Okay. She says people are afraid of the truth. Monique calls out Steve Harvey and confirms that Cat Williams was telling the truth, baby. We know. We know Cat was being honest with us, girl. We know that. We know he was calling them out. And then a lot of us about saw a lot of the shit that Cat was saying already before he said it. People just needed a Cat Williams, somebody in the thick of it, a comedian, to just confirm a lot of the shit the people had already been seeing anyway.
Just because we're blood, that doesn't mean we're family through blood, but sometimes it's somebody on the outside that's not blood, that's actually closer family than the actual biological.
We've been taught to say trauma is okay. We've been taught to say you mistreated me, you abused me, you violated me, you disrespected me, you belittled me, but I'm supposed to look at you at Thanksgiving and say, how you doing, Unc? That's what we've been taught. You swallow that pain. That's why people have such a problem with Cat Williams. People have a problem with people that says, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. And that causes a ruckus. And you would say, why are people upset with the truth? When you hear Steve Harvey say, there are repercussions when you tell the truth. Well, remember when we were children? What would your grandmother tell you?
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, because if not, there will be what? Repercussions.
Right.
Well, now it's got turned around. When you tell the truth, there'll be repercussions. So what's the opposite of that? Should I tell a lie and get a reward? So that's how we're rolling right now. That's how we're dealing with one another right now. So when it comes to family and people saying, oh, Monique, how could you? Listen. I want to live the rest of this journey that I have in peace. I want to be with my family, in love with my man, he in love with me. We watch our babies grow and develop their own families. I don't need anything in the midst of that, because you family, that I should accept that trauma. I should accept you not taking accountability for what you've done, what you've said, and we just washed the slate. That's why we're in the position we are now as a community, as a black community, as a community in entertainment. Everybody's been so afraid to say, look what they did to me. Look what they said. And it's like, oh, well, listen now, we don't want to ruffle no feathers, especially if the messenger doesn't fit what people should think the messenger is supposed to look like. Right. And we keep repeating history, Shannon.
And she is right again on this situation, because I'm just like, as quick as we are to call out people that be out here essaying folks and making people feel uncomfortable, violating them, except for Christian Keys, honey. Because he'll talk around it, but he ain't going to talk about it for real. But anyway, when those conversations come out, of course, you know, those people are held accountable, but it may trigger other people to not do what the hell they probably was thinking about doing as far as violating somebody else, because they don't want, you know, the reaction of losing everything, you know, to come behind that. So I feel like with y'all calling out these people in the entertainment industry for not paying accordingly, you know what I'm saying? Treating people any kind of way on set or whatever, I feel like holding them accountable is going to be the same type of effect, if they can get the same effect as we call out some of these people that be SAing, violating people, whatever it is. They'll start doing some shit differently. They'll start making sure they got shit together right on the front end. They'll make sure they start paying people fairly right on the front end of things. You know what I'm saying? Instead of on the back end where they trying to clean up all the fuck shit that they done messed up. So I think she's right. Let's go ahead and keep it going. Okay, Monique calls out Tyler Perry and justifies recording and leaking her private phone conversation with him. Now, I have not heard that private Tyler Perry phone conversation. So where the leaking came from, I don't know. I don't remember that. So maybe it's been out there, but I just don't remember it.
Now, to Tyler Perry's credit, Tyler Perry called us up, right? And he said, I can see the pain in you and I can hear it. And I want to let you know that I would never do nothing to hurt you. But the conversation kept going on. Only for Tyler Perry to admit he did start a rumor that I was difficult to work with. He lied. Only for Tyler Perry to admit I was wrong. And when my movie Boo come out, I'm going to say that, right? Now, here's where, when you did that interview with Kat, I could respect how you do it. Because Kat said, you let them people lie in your face. And your response was, Kat, I don't know if they're lying or not.
Right.
Because I can only take them at their word.
At their word.
Right?
Yes.
Well, we sent you the audio of Tyler Perry. I don't want you to take me at my word. I want you to hear his words. And what did you hear that man saying? What did you hear that man saying?
He said it.
What did he say? Look at him. Either he don't remember. Either he don't remember, his ass ain't listen, or he doesn't want to be the one to out what the hell that man said.
Monique, you know you're not supposed to be recording people.
No. Let me back up.
Okay.
Everything we did was legal. And here's where a black woman really gets the kick in the ass. Had I not recorded Tyler Perry, then it would have been my word against his.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, it would have been, he's so powerful, we can't even pay no attention to that.
Right.
Well, now I have him on audio, which is legal to do where we live.
Right.
And where Tyler
we have him on
lives.
audio. And do you know what some people then said? Why would you record him? Just like you sat there and said, you know what's illegal to do. But did you hear what the man said? I violated you.
Yeah.
I mistreated you.
Yeah.
Do you know, Shannon, that's cost my family tens of millions of dollars?
Yeah.
Over a lie and a rumor?
Is he gonna make he's gonna compensate you for that?
I want you to look in your camera.
Yes.
And I want you to talk to Tyler Perry because you heard what that man said. So ask him, will he compensate my family for that?
Tyler, will you come on Club Shay Shay and let's have a conversation about the fair compensation for what transpired between you and Monique? You can sit right here and she's sitting right here and you and I can have a conversation.
And we'll do you one better. And give me 5 on that, baby. We'll do you one better, Shay. My husband and I will sit right next to him.
Wait, no.
See,
girl, that's going to be
with
messy.
this whole situation, and some of the people that Kat talked about, ironically, I have this issues with those same people.
Ooh.
There were people that reached out to Tyler Perry on my behalf.
Okay.
And I was grateful for that. Okay? There was Al Sharpton, the Reverend Al Sharpton, civil rights leader.
Yeah.
I sent him that audio. He listened to it. He said, baby, what that man did to you was wrong, and you're like my daughter. And we're going to have to get him to fix that.
Right.
We didn't hear from Al Sharpton for 6 months.
Woo.
The next time we saw Al Sharpton, he was on a podium talking about we don't need to fly commercial because we can fly Tyler Perry's private jet. I said that.
Can I just say, this ain't the first time that's happened where she spoke to somebody, they said they were going to do something, and then like she gave it time and then they showed something different. What I can appreciate is that she from what it appears to be, from what she tells us, she never hounds people. She always gives them space and room to do and fulfill the shit that they say they're gonna do. And in due time, your colors will always show who the fuck your is and what the fuck your intentions were. And I'm here for that piece.
That's why maybe I'm not hearing back from him. Okay. Then we had our beautiful sister, Stephanie Mills.
Yes.
Okay. Who is, she don't play.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I told her what happened, sent her the audio. Now, I don't know if she listened to that audio or not. But however, she called Tyler Perry. She said, Monique, Tyler Perry does not want to revisit this. Okay, fine.
Right.
While we're on the phone, Tyler Perry calls her back and says, I will meet with Monique, but not with her husband. Now, you ready for this?
Yeah.
And then Monique has to apologize publicly
Whoa.
to say Oprah and I had nothing to do with messing up her career.
But that'd be a lie.
Not when you sat up there and said that you told.
I thought that was a stage the way you.
Not that you said. Not when you sat up there and admitted that you told a bald face ass lie on this lady, and then her coming out, in my opinion, and letting people know that you told a bold face ass lie. It didn't hinder your checks. It didn't stop your checks. You've been able to continue to get your money and grow careers. Her shit was the one that was stifled. So why would she need to come to the front and give any type of apology? And I understand a little bit, to me, y'all let me know. I feel like I understand if you may not want her husband to be present, but you should want her manager to be present. That's her husband. I don't know, girl. I'm
Look in the camera.
Yes.
Because you heard it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So when you hear what this man is saying, so I said, Stephanie, tell Tyler Perry, never will I meet with him without my husband. And I owe no apology, so I'm not going to give one.
And there's that. Okay, I don't blame her, girl. I don't owe no apology, bitch. I'm not finna get one. So y'all gonna be waiting a long periodically time, honey. Y'all think y'all finna get one from me, baby. All right, and I'm gonna keep applying pressure and keep talking about you hoes and what's going on. And who's gonna check me, boo? Who's going to check and who's going to stop me? Huh? Let's keep going. All right, let's keep going to the next part. All right, so they're saying Monique calls out Kevin Hart. This was a good one here, girl, because let me tell y'all, Kevin Hart, for me personally, I hate to say it, the way he's being, like with the situation going on with Tasha K, and then now you got Monique calling you out, and you had Cat Williams kind of tapping on your head, it's giving you fake. It's giving fakeness. But let's keep going. Monique calls out Kevin Hart and claims he backed out of a promise to executive produce her future film projects. Let me tell you, girl, I would go to 50 Cent for that. I would definitely go to 50 Cent for that.
Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Cat Williams said gatekeepers?
Yes.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
And I want y'all to re-listen to the podcast so you can hear it for yourself. When he first comes on, he says, you're like my mother, you're like my aunt, you're like my sister. Okay? Then we do the podcast. We speak about the Tyler Perry situation. Oprah Winfrey, he said, I don't really know Oprah, but I'm going to reach out to Tyler. I appreciate that. Kevin kept his word. He reached out to Tyler Perry. Kevin Hart called me back about maybe a week or so later. He said, Mo, I talked to Tyler. He said he don't want to revisit it. He said, but I tell you what, let's move past that, Mo. Let's just move past that and let's just do great things. So whatever
That's what Kevin said.
I want you to hear me,
Trying
Kevin
to
Hart.
brush past
Let's
everything.
move past that, Mo. Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do. Now, let me say that before we go any further because I want to make sure I give Kevin Hart his proper credit. When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check and said, here you go. We're forever grateful for that. When we were able to give it back, we said, brother, we appreciate you with some interest on top because I don't ever want nobody to think
Feel like they
me and my
gave
husband. So I want to make sure I put that out there. That brother
that is. I
really
know
helped
that's
us out
right.
when we needed to be
Let me
helped
hurry
out.
up and give you this money
Then when he
back so you
came
ain't got
back
nothing
with,
to hold
I
over me,
got
baby.
you. I didn't ask Kevin Hart to do anything. He said, I'll executive produce. I'll partner with you. I said, good shit, Kevin, because we're in a deal with Endemol. And we're trying to get our talk show back. Mo, whatever it is, I got you. Now, Kevin Hart is one of the biggest entertainers right now in the world,
Correct.
right? And was then. We got off the phone with Kevin Hart. We called Endemol immediately and said, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do, he got us. He's going to partner executive use. They was like, oh, this is incredible because when you put Kevin Hart's name on it, you already know what it is.
Correct.
2 weeks go by. We get a call from Endemol. Endemol says, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky said, Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told y'all, he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know, he doesn't want any kind of...
Can I just say right out the gate before I allow her to finish when she says that Kevin Hart, first of all, that's shiesty, and we'll get into those details. But I do feel like this is where you went wrong, Monique, in my personal. I know y'all gonna get me together either way, girl, because that's just how y'all is. I do feel like you jumped the gun by getting off the phone with Kevin, calling your Endemol or whatever the team is, and giving them that information without having anything concrete. You should have said, Kevin, we're going to need to record this so that we can send it over to Endemol. Or you should have said, can we get that in writing? Because I'm sending you an email right now while we're on the phone now. Okay? You should have got something set in stone with Kevin before you went over to Endemol to tell them that. Now, I do understand why you did that, because Kevin hasn't done anything to y'all for y'all to not trust him and take him at his word. When y'all needed money or whatever and didn't even ask for it, he gifted it to y'all and then y'all returned it back with interest. Okay, so to y'all are thinking he's a stand-up person. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. But I still feel like something should have been a bit more concrete before you got off the phone, went and called those people, and pretty much it embarrassed you. You looked more worse than Kevin did, because they're like, where did Monique get this from? Why did she even come and tell us this and get our hopes up and stuff? So now they are going to feed into the stories of maybe she is difficult to work with. Maybe she do be coming up with shit and this, that, and the other. He's affecting your business relationship, and you being in the industry as long as you have been in the industry. In my personal, I just would have expected you to have more concrete evidence, receipts, details, whatever, contract, something before you went to them with that statement.
kind of relationship with Monique.
So what changed between the 2 weeks and plus he gave you a check, you gave the money back, then said he would partner with you, executive produce, whatever you need, Mo, hey, we got you. So what transpired, or what do you think transpired between then, that 2 week period?
Well, soon as we got off the phone and they told us what Kevin's manager, David Becky, said, I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol, and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, you don't want anything to do with me. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication. I can tell you right now. I said, wait a minute. Are you okay, though, with this white man calling them up? Getting in between our relationship after something you said. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication, and we're going to talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, it's a miscommunication. That was 2 years ago.
Ooh,
if you talk to him, I talk to him.
shit.
I've never talked back to Kevin Hart again. So that's what we're faced with. When you allow somebody to come in between a relationship with a woman that you said, I'm like your mother. You said, I'm like these things. I didn't ask you for that. So everything that baby was saying sitting here, everything he was saying was on the up and up. Because when you hear people say, get the anger out your heart. Oh, man, no one's saying he's lying.
Sure ain't.
No one ever said I was lying. It's so easy to discount and devalue because of what we look like.
Mm-hmm. She is not lying about that. Nobody ever said that Cat Williams was lying, but you want to get up there and talk about some get the anger out your heart. So if you'll say that about Cat Williams, what the fuck are you saying about Monique when she's not around? When you, oh, here go a check, here go this and that, I got you, oh, I'll do whatever y'all want me to do, and then come to find out you really won't. And then you don't even have the balls or the guts to call this woman back and say, hey, we got some discrepancies, got some things going on. My manager's not thinking it's a great idea at this time because of whatever reason. You give her nothing and the lady ain't hear from your ass in 2 years. Baby, cars are being pulled and people are being exposed. Okay? I hate to see it. Let's keep going. Matter
now,
of fact,
Tyler Perry's credit.
before we get into because they don't have it up here, let me see if I could find on here where Monique speaks on DL Hughley before we get into what DL Hughley had to say. So let me see if I can find any piece of where she may have said something about him. Let me see. Do they have her audio, her clip? All right. I might have to go over to, because I can't remember exactly what she said about him in that interview. So let me go and see if I have it on another page somewhere. All right. At this time, if you guys have yet to, support the channel by liking the video or subscribing to the channel, please use this intermission to do so. Okay. We greatly, greatly appreciate it over here. Okay. So let me see. Do I have anything on that? I don't think I have nothing on that. Hold on. Oh, no, I do remember what she said. We really don't even need her audio when she talks about this portion, but I do remember what Monique said. Monique was talking about how she went onto a radio show or something that DL Hughley was a part of. And when she went on that radio show, they wanted to play this silly game where it was like, hey, do you want to play Would You Rather or something like that? And she was like, Would you rather? She's like, baby, let's play. Like, what we got going on? Like, I'm here to play. Like, yes, let's play. So what happened was they was like, would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom, or if he would do something else with somebody else? Okay. It was something like that where it seems like it was pertaining to her husband being gay or something like that. And so she felt like that was very disrespectful. So when she called him and told him about that, like, yo, this ain't that. Like, I don't think that's cool. I don't think they should be doing that. And she says that he told her, Monique, that's just how we play. At the end of the day, that's how we do it. And basically she shouldn't take it, to be so serious or anything like that. And so, yeah, she talked about that in the interview. She talked about, and we'll get into, D.L. Hughley's response, but she also talked about Will Packer. And how when he told her, he was the motherfucking head nigga in charge on set because a young lady came into her trailer and Monique's assistant had her shoes off. And the girl came in there real rude, like, why you got your shoes off? What you doing? What you think you doing? Da, 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 da. And Monique was like, scoot back. Ma'am. Okay, this is my trailer. Matter of fact, I'm not even finna have this conversation with you. Go get your boss. Okay, where's Will at? Girl go gets Will. Will comes back in there. She tells Will about the young lady being disrespectful, whatever the case is. And then Will Packer said, at the end of the day, I'm the head nigga in charge and don't move without me. Ain't nobody finna do nothing or correct nothing or whatever unless I say so type thing. So she talked about that. And she said, okay. She's like, that's cool. She said, well, I want you to know that you'll always be the head nigga in charge to any and everybody that I relay the information to, that I tell exactly about this situation, because I'm not going to keep quiet or whatever. And I think that was after he begged her to do the show. He begged her to do some movie for him. I think it was the Almost Christmas movie or something. And then she was saying how they wanted her to do a cameo. So when she did the cameo, it was only supposed to be her pretty much improvising and making up shit on set as she go. And she was only supposed to be like in a little cameo. It's just like a little piece here. But she said they kept adding like, oh, can you do this? And oh, can you do that? And oh, we want you in this scene. And oh, we want you in that scene. And then she had to draw the motherfucking line with them at some point. Like, I'm not finna do that shit. Okay, because y'all not finna continue to sit up here and play on my motherfucking top, and y'all haven't paid me for all of this. I'm supposed to be in a piece of it and not this much of it. Like, are you crazy? So she was just calling everybody out, exposing, everybody. And I really feel like if y'all really did what she said y'all did, y'all really can't even be mad at that lady. I wouldn't think that y'all should be mad at her, in my personal, because she only said out loud what your ass was doing anyway. So if you did it, then it is what it is. Like, why you mad that she told everybody? Like, I don't know. But anywho, girl, let's go ahead and hop over here so that we can get into what DL Hughley got to say over here on his page. Because remember, she went on the show. They asked her, do you want to play Would You Rather? They gave her some, would you rather your man sleep with, I think, Lee Daniels with a condom or such and such raw or something like that. They asked her. It was very weird. And I felt like it was insinuating that her husband could be gay or whatever it was. She felt disrespected, called DL Hughley. DL Hughley was like, girl, that's just what we do or whatever the case was, okay? I do believe I'm telling that story accurately. But I know y'all will let me know if I'm not anyway. Because that's just how y'all is, all right? Now let's get into what DL had to say.
Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set.
Hold on. Actually, this is what I want to do. Let me pause it. I want to read what his caption says, then we'll get into his audio. He says the reason lies and false narratives continue to go on and circulate is because they go unchecked. What you're not going to do is call me out of my name and not get checked. Monique is a liar. She is constantly throwing the rock and hiding the hand. You don't get to tear people down and then soften the blow by calling them brother, sister, sweet baby. Listen, I do feel like Monique do that at times. And then she has this soft voice. It makes me think of Nikki sometimes, where you try to talk real soft as if that's going to make you more convincing than what you are. Brother, sister, sweet baby. Truth. She will read the dog fuck out you and then label it with sweet baby at the end, or brother or sister. He goes on to say that's not love, far from it. He says, I'm sure Ike thought he loved Tina too. Apologize, question mark. I will never forgive or forget the way you tried to manipulate my daughter's trauma to fit your sick narrative. I don't play when it comes to mine because I love my family for real and they actually love me back. Okay, so y'all remember they got into it not last year, it was year before last. I think it was in 2022, maybe 2021. I think when they got into it, it could have been like 2021, somewhere up in there. I think when they had got into it, 21, 22. I feel like it was 2021. So they got into it real bad online, and she did bring up the daughter and the situation that the daughter had with him and stuff like that. And I think they just had him and his daughter weren't on the same page. They had some issues that they needed to work out or whatever. And I think that the daughter may have been violated in some manner or whatever, but whatever it was, Monique brought it up to the front in the midst of their argument going back and forth. I don't think she necessarily should have done that, but because she did that, they have been, beefing even more. But let's get into what he got to say.
Well, Club Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set. So Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something,
not her
or
daddy.
working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do got captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she says she got off. She called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints, I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't, because I respected her wishes. She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who, as a comedian, talks as much shit about everybody else as she does, she has the temerity to be offended about anything as much shit as you say about people.
Now listen, I'm okay. Y'all got to let me know y'all thoughts on this one, because out the gate, I never knew that the shit never aired. Monique, I don't recall her ever saying that it never aired. So if he pulled it out of respect for her and the shit never aired, some part of me is like, why are you even upset about this? Why are you dragging this on, bringing this to conversation, bringing up your issue with him? Now, I do understand if you feel like you should have never been asked that type of shit to begin with. Completely understand. But also know he wasn't there, and you said that he wasn't there. It was other people that was in the room. He wasn't there at the time that this shit was asked. And when you came to him and told him what the issue was, he pulled the tapes. I feel like it's truth in what both of y'all about saying about each other, to be honest.
Then she encouraged everybody, allegedly it stems from the fact that I used to always talk shit about her on video after video, and she encouraged her sweet babies to look at the video and find them. Do that. Do exactly what she says. And you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find any evidence of that, because Monique is a fucking liar. She's lying about that. But what you will find is Monique talking shit about some alleged contract dispute we had. Look at the ticket. It says D.L. Hughley, then Monique. She knows the story.
Oh, yeah,
but what she did in response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife. This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was molested, and Monique brought that shit out and told the world that I allowed my daughter to be raped in front of me.
Okay, so this what this article was saying over here. They said amid their ongoing feud, Monique dredged up an old interviewer, D.L. Hughley, allegedly refused to believe that his own daughter, I'm not gonna say her name, was SA. Okay, abused, sexually abused. Okay, she seemingly equated it to her trauma, where she, as a black woman, was not believed when she spoke about her own trauma. Okay, and see, I feel like that was kind of wrong, because if that wasn't the angle of the argument and the debate that you and he were having, I do feel like Monique had no right bringing another woman's trauma into a conversation, especially if your trauma wasn't a part of the conversation, nor was his daughter's. So it was like you were trying to stick it to him and get him where it hurt, and I don't really think that she should have been collateral damage at that point, to me, based on her, like, what? Why are you re-putting that back into her mind? And now it's on a platform much bigger. It's one thing to deal with it privately with your family or whatever. And of course, he brought it up on the platform, a while ago. I didn't know about it. I don't know how many people didn't know. But now y'all are feuding, and it's even bigger. And then you bring it out, and then now it's even more bigger for the people that didn't know, like myself. So it wasn't right.
Lying motherfucker. She knows she was lying. And it only stopped when everybody from my family checked her. It's interesting. You know what else you won't see?
Now, was she lying, or did you say in the interview that you wasn't aware or something like that? Or you didn't believe or something? Like, did you not say that on your own? Now, she could have elaborated or, exaggerated on the story, but did you hint at it just a little bit? Because I feel like you shouldn't have even been speaking on your daughter's trauma or anything to begin with on no station with nobody if she didn't give you permission to do so.
Doing? You won't ever see her with her family, videos with her children or grandchildren, because nobody fucks with me. How do you have sweet babies when your own babies don't fuck with you? How do you love us for real when there's no evidence of anybody loving you for real, except your daddy, who you apparently have to pay?
Whoa.
And FYI, daughters are paid for by daddies, not daddies who get paid by their daughters.
Ooh.
You know what else you won't see Monique doing? Telling jokes. Monique, if she'd have spent as much time actually writing jokes and writing her Netflix special as she did complaining about not having one, it wouldn't have been trash. It got the worst reviews of any Netflix special in history, because that's what Monique does. She complains and she has grievances. You never see her being a human being. You never see her being sweet and warm to people, except when she's using it to butter somebody up to get something. There's a reason why everywhere she goes, shit starts. Everywhere she goes. How is it that nobody fucks with you, not even your family? How do you, I was on the road getting it. I get it every goddamn week. Look at my schedule versus yours. See how much I'm going. And I still manage to have a relationship that I cherish with my children. Can you say the same? You can't.
This is some
because
shit.
all you do is talk about your grievances and who did you wrong. There's a reason you're by yourself. There's a reason you got to pay a man to love you. It's sad. There's an old adage that says you can't buy love. It's a shame, Monique, that you probably always will have to. Well, Club Shay Shay is
Baby, this is messy. I just want to check out some of the comments. Somebody says, never once did she insult you, though. She told her truth. Even if you feel she lied, she didn't insult you. Yeah, I don't think she did. I don't think she insulted him. His looks or anything, his weight, his size. I don't think she did that. Somebody said, they said, why would you refer to her weight? Shaking my fucking head. Someone says a hurt dog will bark. Not holler, but bark, honey. Someone says, when Monique spoke about his daughter's trauma, she chose violence. At this point, she gets what she gets. Can we all just get along? Because nobody should have been speaking on that baby's trauma, okay? Somebody says the difference with Cat Williams, and nobody called him a liar. Just saying. Yikes. Okay, because she also said that in her own interview, saying that nobody referred to Cat Williams as a liar. And then here it is, you got D.L. Hughley on his platform being very clear that Monique is a liar. All right. Now, somebody says she didn't burn any bridges. She told her truth because she was asked to come and talk. If everything she says is such a lie, have a round table and go fact for fact, receipt for receipt. May the best receipt holder win. Okay. Child, somebody said they absolutely believe her. Somebody says, I believe Mo, when someone has receipts, they stand on business. And when you posted that memo during the comedy show fiasco and she posted hers, it made you look disingenuous. She has receipts for everything. And so far, she always come on top until someone can prove she's lying. Come on, I'm with you on that. And I prove she lying. Show proof of her being difficult or dishonest. I'm rocking with her. Fact jokes are necessary. I guess they meant to say are not necessary when you have nothing to stand on. Oh, no. They said fact jokes are necessary when you have nothing to stand on. So basically, when you ain't got nothing to stand on, of course, you're going to start insulting a person's looks and stuff like that. She says, the person says, why chase a lie? Question mark. Baby, this right here just ain't got messy. Give Monique enough time, honey, and she probably is going to respond to DL Hughley. And we about to be back in the same fiasco that our ass was in 2022 when they was over there going back and forth, battling it out. Okay, and I'm with that girl. Let's go fact for fact, receipt for receipt. Okay, let's do those things there. All right. But girl, I just had to come to y'all real quick. Let y'all hear and see everything that's been going on with the Monique situation. I know I started out feeling away like, did I gain anything after them 3 hours and she listening to this or whatever? But it was a lot for us to discuss in my personal, all right? So I thank you guys so much for being here. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here with me, and I really, really do appreciate that, okay? Definitely support the channel by liking the video and also subscribing to the channel as well as sharing the video. You guys can find me over on Instagram and Twitter at JamiThatsMe, okay? And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
City and cul-de-sac, coming out swinging like soldier rag, leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind, knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mile. We finna do more than survive, I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda, we hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest, but drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries, stand for my honor. But you run no corner, packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad one.